Well, it's been a little while, but that doesn't mean we haven't been building, so allow me to show you guys today what's been happening on the server over the last couple of months, and we have some new locations and some exciting new builds to walk around. So let's jump straight in and visit our first town. This is Kingsworthy. Now this is a place built by Landwan, and it hasn't been shown off yet, I don't believe, anywhere. The Landwan has asked me this time round to show you guys what's been happening here. Now let me read out this little blurb. It is based on the proposal for the scheme by Sir Christopher Wren to build a palace for King James II. Now the original palace was partially completed before money ran out and it burnt down in the 1890s. The stable blocks, formal and informal gardens, an equestrian area, and Henry II's medieval Great Hall, and Kingsworthy Castle, which was built after the English Civil War, and that was actually Winchester Castle. So let's take this back 2 seconds. This is, or was, meant to be a real place, a real planned out town with beautiful Georgian or even early Georgian townhouses lining a very wide, beautiful avenue, tree lined and beautiful, leading up towards that on the hill. Now, the render distance has not allowed it to come in properly, but there it is, Kingsworthy Palace, or as it would have been, Palace of St James II in Winchester, his own personal Versailles. This place is incredible, and Landwan's recreation of it is stunning. Now we are getting ahead of ourselves by running up the hill first. I wanted to show you guys just a little bit of the sort of hinterlands down here at the base. I don't think it's really hinterlands, but what I like is this big foreboding statue and fountain in the center, and obviously the many statues of myself just lining it around, all looking in the various angles, looking quite perplexed and blue. But this makes a really nice little feature piece for the planned town to carry on with. Landwan's done a great job with these Georgian townhouses. They really have captured the essence of the early dark bricks, but you can see where they've obviously aged, because our server's clearly set in 1912, so over the last 200 years nearly, these places have started to become a bit run down, but you get the nice texturing in there, and you've got the detail above the windows here, which is just using a piece of spruce that's been stripped, and I think that just adds a nice little texture overall. Very similar design and colour scheme to what I used on the Adelphi Terrace back in Whiteburg, and what's quite nice is the sort of triple street layout here. So you've got a street down that side, two-way traffic, a street down that side, two-way traffic. Then you have this street in the centre as well with more two-way traffic along, and you can tee off at different areas, and I think that's a very nice design. You don't see much at all, but it's nice because it breaks up the sort of narrow street and you put this nice big grand boulevard down, but it's not all just paved. I think the trees down the centre really add something to it. Now I'm putting off walking through this and viewing the elephant in the room, or should I say lion. It's a nice little lion statue actually. Take note on that one, guys, it's rampant as well. I'm hoping it's a lion. I would think that's a lion's face. I don't know. Let's say it is a lion for the sake of Whiteburg, because the lion is the symbol of Whiteburg. Although looking more at it, it may be a deer. Oh dear, oh dear. Now, leave me a comment below what you reckon this animal is representing. I would say lion, but still, should we wander on through this lovely screen here? So this is nice. It separates, you know, what is the town from the royal mound up here, the sort of the palace built upon a hill, like the old-fashioned Mott and Bailey designs. So we come on through the large archway, very nicely done as well, into the palace grounds. And we've got the buildings either side flanking this courtyard, and a real hubbub of people wandering around the place. We have the Crimea Memorial here. Oh, this is nice. With a statue on top here representing the Angel of Death, I believe. And we've got all of the statues around the base. Nicely done in bronze, set about here upon the centre of this area. Now this would be great for functions. You could have markets and all sorts going on in here. Now the idea of this place was for it to be the Versailles of England, and Sir Christopher Wren was employed to design it. And as you can see, some very key notes about how it works. You've got these different levels going up to it, which then builds upon this big plateau at the top. Very heavy English Baroque details around the windows, along the top of the cornices, and also within the pediment over there. A nice sort of smallish dome in the centre, nothing too overpowering. And what's quite interesting is, you know, it's very similar in fashion to a lot of stuff Sir Christopher Wren designed, including the original designs for the Greenwich Royal Naval College. Well, actually the Royal Hospital as it was at the time. Oh, what's going on over here then? Oh, hello. Sir, may I buy some of these heads you have on display? So you have a selection of my heads, the globe, And I believe that's MS Builds there as well. Interesting stuff. Now this is nice. I like the many statues along the wall around the base of the palace. Adds another sort of detail, nice little niches around here. And that is a very Baroque style sort of design. Where does this lead off over here? Oh, it's just a closed gate. It seems everyone's trying to get through it for some reason. Hello, sir, may I go through? Thank you. Alright, well, we'll try and get into these gardens in a minute. I do have a proper pass to get me through it all. So let's wander on up then into the main palace and see what that looks like. So as we come up the sweeping staircase here, we are now greeted by the upper courtyard and another statue in the centre here. Wow, I love this. I love the forebodingness, the imposingness, the very largeness. It is beautiful. Then we have this colonnaded section here at the back where we're greeted with paired columns and then also these very much larger columns over here using a beautiful selection of walls. Now this is a great column design because the capitals can be very well detailed at this point. You don't have to use stairs in the form of actually making the capital details. Overall, Lanwan, I'm just flabbergasted about this place. It's one of those sort of model cities that really is just gorgeous, and it definitely deserves more time spent here. I do want to just quickly go and see the gardens and the Great Hall around here because I fear already we're like running along with a very healthy amount of footage for this place, but it's beautiful. Oh, what's this? Is this the the informal gardens? Absolutely gorgeous scenes here in this garden because it's built upon quite a large slope and it just adds another level of mystery. Mystery? I don't even know if it is mystery. Oh, this is the stable block down here. I think mystery is the non-correct term for what this garden feels, but it's magical. We've got this lovely cherry blossom in the centre made out of glass, but even the way that works, you just come and stand under it, you get this nice purple and pinkish hue, which fills you with just magic. So let's walk on up this way quickly and go see the Great Hall and a little bit more of what Lanwan's built around this section. Right, so this is the medieval Great Hall of Henry II. Now Winchester, or Kingsworthy, was the capital of England at the time when this was built, and it's a real marvel of Norman architecture and just medievalness. Very heavy on the cobblestones. Now in real life this building's made out of flint, and Winchester and also Hampshire is very much known for its flint buildings, flint churches, flint palaces, and you've captured that very well here, Lanwan, with the idea of all of these dead coral blocks, the cobblestone mixed in with these sort of harder stones gives a nice impression there of a flint, and the flint's lined then with a nice sandstone finishing block, as you can see around the windows into the centre bits, the milions, and also the edge coping stones. Really impressive stuff, and I can see you've got loads more planned for the future around here, but this so far is Kingsworthy and Kingsworthy Palace. A real forestayer and forebodingness about it that, oh, this is the formal gardens, that one day when this is complete, it requires a full showcase video, just wandering around every nook and cranny of the town and seeing all of the statues, all the lifelike impressions of myself with seemingly blank expressions. Right, I think we've seen enough of Kingsworthy for today. Let's go wander on to our next town. Linford upon Avon has had an expansion. Going forward now, Goblin has built a brand new cathedral based on the 1876 competition design by R.H. Carpenter for Manchester Cathedral. Now this was actually never built, so Goblin has decided to take it on and turn it into an actual structure. The Bishop's Palace sits on the waterfront and is based on the pre-fire Palace of Whitehall, another building that just doesn't exist in real life anymore. There are a few new townhouses and pubs along the streets. So I'm going to take a proper look around this place as we've just done with Kingsworthy. Now I'm going to fly on up quickly first and just look at this majesty of everything. Now how do we get down along this road? So Linford's always been a city that you guys have enjoyed us walking around and just smelling the roses. Now we can go smell some vast roses over here in this beautiful garden. Right, so I've made it to the gates of, I believe, the palace. Are we allowed in? Hello? I don't know if we're allowed in. Oh, because it's down this way. So let's head on down now to the construction, the under construction cathedral. And I think behind this wall here, yes, is the compound where everything's being constructed. So Goblin has actually worked on building a actual works unit. We've got these steam excavators and a whole host of other things. This is a pile driver by the looks of it, driving in these huge log piles down into the dirty, muddy ground in order to actually support the massive structure. Now this is something I've never seen done in Minecraft before, building an actual construction site with the foresight behind what goes on. We've even got the storage units over here, all of the stores over here. We've got all the logs being laid around, waiting to go up. These must be part of the beams and that, part of the beams and the structure. And then we've got the cross section itself of the cathedral. If you look down there, you see everything being winched up, used and just brought into place. There's so much detail going along here. Now Gob decided to build this in this way so he didn't have to build the entire cathedral's interior. Unfortunately, what happened was you still have to build the interior if you're going to show it. So in actual fact, you ended up having to build more of the interior just so it ends up being a bit more lifelike. So above me there is a beautiful painting, a fresco on the ceiling, which I believe, I can't remember what one it's based on. Now Gob, if you want to correct me in the comments, but I think this is based on the one that was done inside the Library of Congress or the House of Representatives in America. Obviously, you know, it's a bit hard to tell exactly what it is just from it being built at this scale, but it's gorgeous. Looking around here, we can see the Bishop's Palace through the window over there, and also not just that, I mean, it's just scaffolding, there's cranes, there's pulleys and winches, there's so much going on in here. Now these are cool. So these are electric lights that are being used to illuminate the workplace. So you can see here this one's guiding down onto this area here. We've got natural light coming in through the open roof up there, while the floor is going in. Oh, that's gorgeous. I like the idea there's just this sort of granite and marble just left here on the side in a block on some wood waiting to be put into the ground by the masons. And we've got sections of the roof here that need to be hoisted up and built, and a whole dark host of stuff down here. Ooh, there's little newspapers and stuff laid around. There's just a lot going on, and it's a testimony to your skills as a builder, Goblin. You can build both, you know, a finished construction and make it look incredible, but also under construction and make it look even more incredible, because it's just something I haven't really ever taken a chance to even think about doing before. I think that, guys, you know, take some inspiration from this, please. This is, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this in Minecraft. I want to see more of life in a town, because those buildings are actually under construction. But bear in mind, it doesn't mean leaving a building half built and just going, yeah, that's under construction. No, you need to build things like cranes and tilers putting on the lead on top of the roof, and more cranes and more tiles and more, just everything going on. This is unfinished, but it's unfinished on purpose. Right, so we've got some other bits and bobs to see around this area before we gush everything over on the cathedral. So in this section here, Goblin has built some ruins for us to wander around. The ruins of the original Bishop's Palace / part of a old cathedral. Now this is cool because the ruins themselves have got quite overgrown inside, and you can see where parts of the roof have collapsed, and we've now got some supports going up against the walls either side. I too have built some ruins recently, and I will be showing you those when we get round to seeing Whiteburg City for its, well, for my 50,000 subscribers special episode that we need to really put together at some point. I say me, I need to do it. So there's loads of stuff going on through the gardens here. Now, it is getting a bit framey in the Apple workshop, and is that me? Am I driving a tractor down here? I did assure Gob that it should be okay with all of these heads around, and it is. But I am currently running at, let's have a look, at 27 FPS. Now that's not too bad. If less I move, then it gets worse. But still, you can appreciate the marksmanship, the workmanship that's gone into this. Details everywhere. We've got a little bench down here with some pigeons on. We've got another me picking some, no, that's not me, that's Onion Ring Sasquatch picking some fruit. And now we come in to the gardens and the walkabout bits. So you can see that the ground here isn't gravel, though it has the effect of a nice white gravel that you see around all these stately homes and that. Now this is mushroom stem. And when you place it down, obviously it comes like that. But then you place a block on top, you beat it off, and you go, oh, and I don't think beat it off is the correct term. No, you break it, is what I was meant to say. And then you get this lovely pathway texture, which really works, elevates a lot of stuff, because I think dirt paths don't always really work correctly, and doing something like this brings it to the same level. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then you get a lovely looking path. So we are now in the statue garden. This is where they grow all of the statues that get placed around Whiteburg City. And currently they're growing some beautiful stone ones made out of a beautiful marble. Marble? Marble. This is myself over there. Myself again, but this time in the back. Myself over there on the left. Myself there. This one also is myself, but looking forward. And this one is myself looking forward pensively. No, this is nice. So I think Goblin was saying it's like a statue garden for the former bishops, and they kind of placed them in here. It could be graves for them. That's a very nice flying buttress there. There's a lot to see around here, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm gonna fly. Oh, we can go through here actually. Let's have a little wander this way. Very nice. Through a little archway into another statue garden. I'm loving the way the shadows are being formed from the castellations on the roof there. Castellations? Crenellations. Through another archway, we come into the stables, I think. Oh wow, yeah, it's a big old pond. We've got some carts and that over there, and then we have the Bishop's Palace over this way. I like the maze-like effect here. How do you... you can go through this little side wall here, come up here, and go on round. It's incredible, guys. I don't know if you get the feel through the video, but there is just an air about the place. Just gorgeousness. What on earth? Oh, don't look too far that way. That's a workshop. We're going to walk backwards to it. No, so I wanted to bring you guys down to the waterfront here and just admire the way this is all set up around here as well. So you've got the bridge going off back down towards main Linford that we've been to before. Then you come under the bridge and you come on down here to the waterside Bishop's Palace. Now this, as Goblin said, well, as I read out earlier, is based on the Palace of Westminster before the fire. Now the Palace of Westminster is the same location as we have the Houses of Parliament today, although this is how it looked originally, because it was a real palace at once upon a time. So I think that's enough of Linford today. We've seen a lot here, and there's just so much more going on. Gob's working over there in the background, getting a park in behind here, and I just think we need to come back at some point next month and explore a bit more of that. Right then, should we head on off to another city? We've now arrived on the outskirts of Karlovy, looking at Mel Nelson's latest construction, Mount Stuart House, a Gothic revival summer house for the Duke and Duchess of Karlovy. So let's take a little wander around the grounds here. Already I'm loving the colour scheme on this. The whole thing seems to be made out of granite, and it's beautiful. It's got a lovely texture for it, with picking out details here in diorite and a little bit of andesite there. But what's nice is the windows have been lined with jungle trapdoors. Now jungle trapdoors really do offset a granite very well. Heavy neo-Gothic vibes here, which is what he was going for. So the grounds are lovely. I'm not entirely sure where we're located, but we're kind of be floating in the sky a little bit. So there's nice trees dotted around the place. You've got a good long driveway up to the house itself. A little carport entrance over there. And we'll just have a little wander around. I don't think there's an interior inside, but you've captured the essence of the house very well. I've never seen it in real life, so I'm not sure what it looks like. So if you guys want to have a little look on Google to see what this thing looks like, I think that may capture the essence even more so. 2 weather vanes up there on top. No, I don't think they're weather vanes. 2 little details on top there, and then we've got these chimneys up here which have been battered by the elements slightly and now got a selection of slime across them. Slime and moss and all sorts of random stuff. I don't think slime wasn't the first word that came into head, but for some reason it came out my mouth. So if we go around the back here, we might be able to see a bit more of the palace. And I was correct. Look at this place. Wow. So it's definitely like it's got that Victorian, that 19th century feel. Obviously it's a European country house, it's not an English one. But you still get these nice Gothic notes to it. Now this is really cool over here. So we've got a greenhouse located on an upper section of the roof. Mel Nelson has gone in and added the details of the trees in there. So, well, it's not even a green. No, it does look to be a greenhouse. So you walk through it to go between this octagonal square-based tower here. And I wonder if that was used like as some sort of... I think this section at the back here looks a bit more church-like. So perhaps this was the chapel of the house. And then you've got the living quarters out here, plus a formal garden which leads onto a lake, and it's got a nice pond in the centre of it. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Love the way the trees are lined either side on these upper sections leading away from that, and you've got this really cool feature wall at the back there. Adds a lot to the build because you bring some depth to it. You can stand below the building itself and look up to it. Now this is nice. You've got a little pathway through here. Interesting use of blocks again. So we've seen some fun pathways done today. So we had goblins with his mushroom blocks and a bit of hay. And now we have this one here with some terracotta, some gravel, some granite, and also mud. Packed mud. Pack that mud deep, you know. Oh dear, oh dear. That gives a lovely texture to the place. Really offsets the green everywhere very well. Also, it matches with the overall theme of this place. So is there any more to see around here? I don't know. There's a nice tunneled section there which leads under the house. And a little bit of a detail there that could possibly be a picture or a clock. I'm not sure, but I know they exist in these sort of Central European type buildings. Coming around the side here, we've got some connector bits which seem to go through a little courtyard, and you'll be able to capture the sun as you walk through here on a beautiful morning. This is really pleasant. Mel Nelson, this is nice. Good work, and I'm really happy you've come back and built some more. Excellent stuff. Right then, should we move on then to another location? So I've just come over to San Alexandro to see Bergie's stuff, and he's left this quite sad note. So if you read this note, please note San Alexandro be deleted. I see no point in returning or continuing. I have become extremely unencouraged. I may or may not return to the server. With love, Bergie. This is a choice. Oh, Bergie, I didn't realise. San Alexandro is gorgeous. Guys, give Bergie some love in the comments, please. We need to give him some encouragement. He's built so much, and it's been so pleasant and beautiful. No, that's put me in an odd place now. We've come here today to have a look at the Riverside County Courthouse, left of the Capitol building, so we need to go find that. But I believe it's up this street somewhere. Now, while I read out, let's have a look. So it says, modelled on the Grand Palace in Paris, construction started in May 1903, was completed in June 1904. It was designed by Franklin Pierce Berman and is credited for designing the Georgia State Capitol building, including 12 Carnegie libraries. One of his included one in front of the Capitol in CA, which we have seen before as well down here. Oh right, so we're just running here through San Alexandro, through the high rises, the streets, the feel of this place. Bergie, this is beautiful. Please know you are very well respected as a builder on this server. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. God, I love this place. Where are we going? Left of the Capitol building. We've arrived right down the end of the Capitol building. Now on the left hand side, no, what? Which one is it? So it's on, it's over there, right. We'll have a look at that in a second. So this is the library, I believe, that we just spoke about. And this is also a copy of the library on this side. I like this. I like the way these two flank it, and you've made good use of corals here. Get some designs in, and I like these little columns. They're very pleasant. This area is good, because we showed it off last time as well. You've got the post office there, and it leads into these really funky power lines. So we'll wander on around. I didn't realise there were some tanks here. What are they chugging along? They've even got their engines running as well. Right, so we're going to run past the Capitol building and round here. Okay, so here we are then at the Riverside County Courthouse. A lovely location for it as well, sitting here opposite the Capitol building. This building's nice. You've got two sets of statues up here on pavilions flanking the main entrance. Then you've got some more on pavilions on the end as well. Nice big wide frontage here, really lends itself to that. I think Berman, now correct me if I'm wrong, he was the guy who did that design for Chicago that everyone loves. I think he is. So he does these nice big grand designs. I like the lights out the front here as well, and the door is an interesting one. I've not seen that done before. And there's There's been a murder. There's been a murder. Oh wow, that's we might have to blur that out on YouTube. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to run. So are we seeing criminals anywhere? There's been a murder at the courthouse. That's fairly ironic, isn't it not? I can't see any perpetrators in the area. So it's got four sides to it. I like these palm trees at the front. I'm just trying to see if there's no murderer here. Unless he's hiding out in the bushes over here. No. Oh right. Well, Bergie, I mean, please come back if you feel up for it. You are building such an incredible town. It's left such an important mark on both the server, the community, and just Minecraft building in general. You, sir, are incredible. So please don't ever feel under-encouraged, for we shall encourage you. But yeah, leave some love for Bergie in the comments, guys, please. Right, well, moving on to another town. Let's go see what else has been built lately. We are back here in Hotkeys, Pelham, looking at the Royal Mound. Now, Hotkey has given me some information about this place. A long while ago, I started to remodel Pelham. After working on and off, this is the first finished piece. This great rock is where the Kalmarian royal family has its seat, in the Pelham Royal Palace, based off the Stockholm Royal Palace. Adjacent to the palace is the Royal Church, and that is based off the one Stockholm. In the area there's also the nobles' houses and other state-related buildings, all things necessary to run the glorious nation of Kalmar. Please check out the western backside of the mound, as I have some lovely details and probably is my favourite part. You could probably find some really nice shots of the church in the background. Right then, well, let's go wander around his beautiful royal mound, the seat of the Royal Kalmarian house. I mean, it is Kalmar, they aren't that glorious. Oh, please fight in the comments about that. So we have been here before, we have seen the Royal Palace before, and I showed that one off from when it was up against the seafront. Now I believe it's all been moved away from that now. Yes, it has. So you can see here this is no longer overwatching on the sea. The sea has now been removed, and I believe Hotkey is reworking all of this. But this is a lovely palace. It's just, you know, a large square built in a nice Swedish Baroque style. Good strong details on the centre here. I like the big large courtyard in here with defined areas using diorite here to define the edge of where the cobbles go. Now if we wander back out here to where we were a second ago, we got this nice statue. Is that Carl Gustaf the Fourth on that one? Might stand on the front actually. It does not. But we have some nobles' houses around here. So we've got the Royal Church as well up there. I do like this spire on this one, the nice big blue clock as well. But that's a very healthy looking copper spire. Lovely. Right, well let's wander around here where it seems to be covered in horse poo. Walk past these big noble houses and you can see some very strong details in this one. It does look very Scandinavian, this, I would say. Heavy use of brick and stone. Going around here, we've got a nice selection of other buildings. I've never seen netherite being used in a build before, let alone one that actually works. I like that. This one's even got a tower on it. Oh, this is an interesting building. It seems the sun doesn't want to shine on this one. So we may have to go around this side. Yeah, look at that. That's a real interesting look. And that's built directly into the side of the cliff here. And this will be straight down into the sea at some point. I like this bit around here as well. Lots of little details. I think this is what he was talking about in the opening section. Lots of little details. Lots of mud just being tracked around the place as well. That adds a whole host of detail to it. Oh, this is cool. I like this. Interesting windows as well, very gothic. The church is nice in the centre there, as we've said. We've got a whole host of other things going on. I am flying around a little bit just because, you know, it's just nice to get a full feel of the place, but also breathe in some details down here on the ground. Let me go through here. There we go. Back out onto the main drive, and you've got the main palace through there. Nice little trees in front. Yeah, this is definitely a testimony to Kalmar's greatness. It's definitely up there with the likes of Whiteburg City. Glorious place to be. No, very nice hotkey. Really interested to see where you take this. Oh, that's a really nice fountain in the centre there. And you've got use of a glass there to act as actually the water spout coming out. I like the way it sits here, directly opposite that. Directly opposite this building here. Oh, very nice. Let's quickly change that. Oh yeah, that's nice. Is this the Kalmar flag put in there? No. And then you've got a screen through here as well. Seeing quite a few screens today, and they're really handy for just dividing areas up while keeping view lines through. No, guys, this is beautiful, and there's a lot of scope for more to be built around here for sure. As you can see, there is already quite a lot done, but Hotkey is working around the edges, and he has been on quite a bit recently, so it's great to see Hotkey back working away at this. And we'll be back here in the Kalmar's capital soon enough. So let's head on over to another location. We have arrived back in Ostend, Ozzy's beautiful Belgium seaside town. Now, Ozzy has described the sections of buildings he's been doing lately as Ostend, Leopolds, the King's Square. Ostend continues to expand eastward. Last year I redrew the planning to decrease the overall side of Ostend as to not run into issues with France. This square serves as a roundabout and has a statue of an old king from a Flemish dynasty in the middle. The square is connected to many important roads, one leading to Hoogedam, one leading to the church, one to the beach, and one to the casino. The sandstone buildings is the facade of a car garage. If you take a look at the back, you'll see a very early petrol pump. Right, well, let's have a proper look around this place then. It's a nice little square. I like the way the trams go around one side of it. So that way is off towards Hoogedam and the fields, and then this way is off towards the beach. That way up there is towards the beach, and that way is towards the church. I was going to say, I've just noticed that's the beach down there. I know the Palace Hotel on the corner there. Very nice stuff again, Ozzy. I like, you always throw a lot of details into things. We've got some cars cruising around here. We've got, oh, do I know this fella? He seems oddly familiar, like a bad dream. Oh, don't know, maybe I do. So this is a statue of an old Flemish king riding upon his steed. Nice details. Different take on the statue. I haven't seen one like this for a while. And an interesting head up there. Is that one of the Bubbexes, or just, it looks a bit soulless. So over here, this is the old garage. So if we head on through this archway, we come into a nice enclosed building, and you can see a bit of a motorworks out there. So we drive around this way. Oh, I seem to be stuck inside now. I just popped myself out. Where is the old petrol pump? Unless it's on. Oh! So I've come out the wrong door. Was there a door in here? There was, but not really come out of here. So this is an old sort of garage, sort of background area. Backyard. So we've got some petrol pump designs here. These are cool. I like the use of lots of blocks here. So we've got a candle on top, debugged fence, some levers to act as the actual nozzles, and then you've got yourself a blaze rod underneath here and a wall in between. Now that works well. So we've got a little area here so you can come back here, fill up your car. And there's lots of stuff going on back here as well. So we've got a whole host of just stuff lying around, and a workshop over there. Nice little detail, and this is a really cool wall design as well. I haven't seen this done before, but it works well on an angle. Almost adds a nice sort of gothic arch to it as it goes around. So flying on around here, we just see the rest of Ostend for a second. Lots going on. I know we've been around that section before quite a bit. Over here is an interesting building. So this is just some sort of workshop, factory type area. These are cool. Great use of the detailing up around there. And also there's some interesting... So this is what Ozzy always does well. He likes to add little details on the side of buildings. And so we have, what does that say? War. To war? Don't know. Petrol. I think that says petrol for war. Ozzy, explain in the comments below. We'll see what you say. We've got some nice little alleyways and stuff. This feels good. Like, I like the connecting between these alleyways between here and the different roads. And even if they aren't main roads themselves, they open up into yards. You get a nice feeling on how to detail behind buildings. And once you get some angles in, things really start to come together, because you have to find a way to merge straights and angles together, and that's when you get some nice little buildings like that. Really well built, actually. Looking at the angles from up here, very nicely done. And you've got a lot planned out through here as well, but this little area is coming together nicely. Obviously the Zeppelin up there still flying overhead. So Ozzy, can't wait to see what else you build soon. Oh, is that a little school over here? I think it is. Well, that's nice. I think we've seen this school before, actually. It may have been moved out of the way, but we've got some swing designs here. Oh, lovely stuff. And someone just wandering around. It looks a bit old to be in a school. Just saying. Anyway, right, let's move on then to our final location on this tour. Right, while I still have it all set up here, I thought I might as well bring you guys over and show you the parade we had set up here in Whiteburg City for the Coronation this year. So it's very similar to the one we had last year for the Jubilee. A little bit different. There's a few other little different designs for flags and bunting around this area. and obviously it leads on a bit further down there. Now we'll wander down there in a bit. So what's been happening around here is I put up some bunting between buildings. We've got the stages set for people. I just wanted to show you sort of ideas on how you could do these types of things, because obviously, you know, it's quite nice to hold a parade or a celebration in a city, and the ways you go about doing it is, you know, each to their own, but I've gone for bunting in the Whiteburgian colours here, and this sort of just is made of solid blocks, and I think it looks quite nice, especially from, you know, like a standpoint of, wow, that's a lot of colour, it's good. We've then got all of the flags going down either sides of the mall here, flags further across the two buildings down there, and then we've got the crest of Whiteburg, which has been dragged out of the Parliament building over there and loaded up between here on some quite heavy chains. I've also gone for big flags draping off of the buildings over here for a bit of extra colour up against the sandstone. Now we've got displays up ahead, one display there, and another one further on down this way as well. So we wander on down and breathe in a bit of the display. There's soldiers either side marching through the streets, ignore that, and they are bound down here by crowds. Let's go see some of the crowds. Oh, there are some tanks there. There also are some tanks in there as well, and a little street party going on down that side, but that was for the Jubilee mainly. We just copy and pasted that back in. So the street parade's carrying on. We've got quite a laggy area due to the fact of all of these heads everywhere being rendered in, but I can tell you just from stills around here, it looks good. God, what is my frame rate at the moment? 12. Oh dear, that's not very good at all. Well, let's wander through here as quickly as possible and go see the king in his gold carriage down the end here. What we're leading up to here is a new part of town that I've been working on. There is something looming at the end of that road. Something I will show you for when I reach 50,000 subscribers, which isn't too far away now. This whole area has been a large project in its own right. Mainly just a big parkland, and it still isn't quite finished, which is why we're not heading down there yet. There is a lot of scope for making this the main centerpiece of Whiteburg City, and I am moving slightly further and further down. You can see some little pylons have located themselves either end down there, and each of the fences around here are gilded and not quite finished yet, and the pathways through it are quite intricate and that. Oh, I like that. But what is actually down there, behind the render distance, is quite a spectacle, and it will become the feature piece of Whiteburg City, as much so as the Palace of Westminster, the Palace of Greenwich had done, and all the other things beforehand. Still, before we leave, let's take a look at this gold carriage that Duncan came on and built for us, being pulled by all of the riders. Now this is really cool. Got some really cool little details down here. So there's two mermaids that sit at the front of it, and I think that's the best detail I've seen. Use of my heads down there to become a mermaid. Now you can actually climb up inside it, and if you do through, oh no, you end up jumping through it. When Duncan pastes this in, I'm not gonna, oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, well, on that bombshell, I'm going to climb into the carriage now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back soon showing you what's happening down the end there. But as always, remember, get inspired, get building, and I will see you next time for some more fun around the server. So, goodbye.